guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. So if you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of Sileo. Tales from a New Dawn, I think that's what it's called. But anyway, guys, we had a massive positive response to the first video. I'm going to give you guys more. Anyway, guys, please sit back and enjoy. I got a bunch of nice videos going up for you today. Please enjoy for the next 18 minutes, and let's jump right in. Alarm shiner up, and let's go. Alright. That actually sounds fun. I'll get some more practice in the next time I'm here, then. Well then, boys, where to no- sec.
It's almost lunchtime. I bet Diego is hungry. I didn't have breakfast.
Bad news, guys. I've been called into work.
Oh no, are you going in now?
Yep. Sorry, fellas. Brian, take my keys. You're okay hanging with these guys for a bit, right? Of course. Of course. I took Diego's keys from him and placed them safely in my pocket. Cool. Be nice to Brian, okay, guys?
Sure thing.
Of course. Brian, I'll see you tonight after work.
See you then, Diego. Have fun at work.
Diego simply grumbled something under his breath before taking his leave.
Off he goes. No reason we still can't get to lunch, though, right?
Sounds great. Lead the way. Okay. Shortly after the three of us arrived at the food court in this local mall, it was packed with people, having only a few tables free.
Jeez, I hope we can find a table with enough seats for all of us.
He had a point. I could see a 4-seat table out of the corner of my eye. Alas, it would likely have been taken by the time we ordered our food. Thankfully, I had a solution. There's a free table over there. I'll go sit down. You guys go and get what you want, and I'll go after.
Are you sure? It's a good plan. Thanks. See you shortly.
See ya. The guys had returned with their food. Axel had something distinctly Eastern. It was a sort of salad bowl with chicken and noodles in it. Axel noticed my interest in his meal and gave me the rundown.
It's called a donburi. I've heard of those. You can mix and match most of the ingredients. It's delicious.
Dom, on the other hand, had something wrapped in foil. I couldn't see quite what it was.
I've got a doner kebab. You can customize these, too. I've got a bit of everything in here.
As he unwrapped it, I could see he wasn't joking. It was kind of bursting at the seams. It also looked delicious.
What are you going to get?
I wonder what Diego would have gotten. Well, both of their choices looked positively tantalizing. I was curious to what Diego might have ordered. What does Diego usually get when he eats here?
Oh, he usually gets that all-you-can-eat place. And gets in trouble with the lady for overfilling his plate.
Why does none of that surprise me? I could get myself something, but it also dawned on me that Diego hadn't had a chance to eat before heading off to work. He goes, well, yeah. They're going with a big muscle boy this time. I thought it would be nice to get something for Diego as well. Alright, I'm gonna go and get something. Be right back. I made my way to the buffet and loaded up a plate for myself to take and a takeout container for Diego. I was conscious of not filling them too much in order to avoid any trouble from the rather sour-looking lady sitting behind the cash register. When I approached, she looked closely at what I'd brought before giving me a nod of approval. I paid for the meals and returned to my seat.
What the?
Wow, looks like Diego has competition.
Oh no, these aren't both for me. I thought I'd drop some lunch off for Diego. Oh, you had me worried there for a minute.
Cute. Huh? What are you talking about?
Nothing.
The three of us began eating our meals in unison. Between bites, I decided to ask some questions to get to know the pair a little better. So, how long have the two of you and Diego all known one another?
Diego and I became friends almost as soon as I moved here. He'd only just arrived, too, and we kept seeing each other around. One day he decided to talk to me, and yeah. I was training to run a half marathon, so I signed up for the gym so I had somewhere to train on the rainy days. Diego was a regular there, so we got talking. Axel and Diego were already friends. That's how Axel and I met. Now we practically do everything together. Yeah.
Why are you blushing? Are you all banging each other? How long ago was that, Dom?
Oh, I don't know. Diego got into that relationship a month or two later, so I guess it's been nearly a year.
I recall that Diego had mentioned his ex during the previous night's discussion. I was admittedly curious and thought for a moment whether I should ask them about it. I decided against it and figured it's something he should tell me on his own when he was ready. It was best not to pry. Okay. Dom turned his attention to the kebab on his plate. He grabbed the thing with two hands, gingerly lifting it towards his mouth, and then took a bite, spilling meat and falafel all over the table.
Clumsy. Let me go grab some napkins.
Dom got up from his seat and made his way over to the cutlery table in the center of the food court. As he walked, I noticed Axel was watching him and appeared somewhat transfixed. Eventually, he broke his gaze and turned back towards his meal. During his turn, he noticed that I had been watching and got a small fright before returning to his food as nonchalantly as possible. Moments after, Dom had returned and cleaned up the mess he'd made. He sat back down and took a noticeably more careful bite from his kebab. Yet another curiosity, and once again I decided not to pry, instead starting a new topic of conversation. Oh, by the way, Diego hasn't said, where does he work exactly?
He's a bartender at that place around the corner from here.
Oh, I see. Has he worked there long?
As long as I've known him. Axel?
About a year or so now, I think. I see. I can totally picture him being a bartender.
He certainly knows his liquor, although maybe that's a bad thing.
You said it was around the corner? What's the easiest way to find it? I've got to drop his food off to him after this.
Go out the rear doors over there and turn right. Head through the car park and cross the road. It'll be right in front of you.
Thanks, Tom. I'll do that. Oh, Brian, you never said how you and Diego met. Well, we dormed together in university for 2 years. He moved to Woodcrest straight after that.
Cool. Is he much different now?
He's much bigger and stronger than he was. Personality-wise, so far, he seems mostly the same.
I can picture him being a huge troublemaker back then.
He was, but I can't talk. I was just as bad.
I can totally see it.
What about you guys? What do you both do?
I'm in the business of events, so I build stages, cater to security, whatever that needs doing. The variety is great, keeps me on my toes. I'm studying part-time. I'm also working part-time for a delivery service type of place. We drop off wholesale grocery supplies to businesses and stuff like that.
I see. I was working full-time until recently, but it kind of sucked. Hoping to start over here and have a happier life.
You will. Woodcrest is great.
There's plenty of opportunities here.
I wonder if my boss is hiring. I should ask.
I'd appreciate that. Thanks, Dom. The other two had already finished their food and were patiently waiting for me to finish mine. I took my last few bites and let out a contented sigh.
So, what's the plan now?
I was thinking I'd head home soon and relax a bit. The last few days have been hectic, to say the least.
Oh, you're leaving already? It's okay, Axel. He did just move to a whole new city after all. I can't blame him for wanting some downtime.
We'll see each other soon enough, I'm sure. I got your number, Axel. Can I ask for yours, Dom?
Sure. Show me your phone for a second.
I handed Dom my phone and he put them closely together. My phone made a sound before he handed it back to me. Ah, yes, NFC. Pretty cool.
There you are. I should be in your contacts now.
Great. Okay, guys. See you next time.
Bye. I had fun hanging out with you. Until next time.
Oh, that's a cool statue. I made my way out of the mall and followed Dom's instructions, taking an immediate right. It was a nice day out, and Woodcrest was more pretty and more peaceful than what I was used to. It didn't take long before I saw what must have been the bar Diego worked at. It wasn't what I expected. I had thought it would be your average bar, but it actually seemed to be something of a refined establishment. I made my way inside. Turns out he's working at Patty's Pub. I'm a trash man! The bar was an unexpectedly sophisticated establishment. Wooden counters, vintage bulbs, and calm lounge music made for a comfortable, high-class experience. Okay. I craned my neck looking for Diego, and it wasn't long before I spotted him behind the bar. Hey, big guy! What the... Hey, what are you doing here? Where'd the clothes come from? I keep a spare set at work for situations like this. It saved me more times than I can remember. I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit, man. That background music is loud. There we go. Alright, that's much better. Okay. You? Prepared? Who knew? Hey, you can't just come into my work and...
Shh! Here, I brought you some lunch.
Oh, well, thanks. Come to think of it, I am kind of hungry. Diego opened the small bag and took a look inside. Wow, my favorite even. How'd you know? I had some help. Well, geez, Brian, I wasn't expecting this. Thanks heaps.
No problem. Catch you at home later?
See you then. I like this game. I spent most of the afternoon relaxing back at Diego's. I'd also had a shower, done the dishes from the morning and the previous night, and tidied up around the house a bit. After all, Diego wasn't charging me to stay with him. I might as well have made myself useful. The last couple of hours I burned between my phone and Diego's video game collection. As the sun went down, I started to feel myself getting a tad peckish.
How did you burn through a video game in that short amount of time? Even like short games typically take like 5 hours. Good lord. You burned through his video game collection in 2 hours? What the fuck? Are you some kind of pro gamer?
I got up and answered the door to find Diego standing on the other side, carrying 2 large paper bags. Well, hey there. How was work? Pretty good, actually. I was honestly barely needed, but I'm happy to take the money.
What's in the bags?
Thought I'd repay the favor. The bar does some pretty sweet meals, too, so I got us nachos.
Oh man, I love nachos!
Diego unpacked our meals and we began eating.
Wow, these are superb! My compliments to the chef, and you, of course. Thanks, Diego.
Least I could do after you bringing me lunch. The two of us ate in silence for a few moments before Diego started conversation. Well,
what?
How did it all go? With Axel and Dom, I mean.
Pretty good, I'd say. I didn't stick around for too long. I wanted to relax a bit today after the past few days being so busy. They seem really nice, though. I'll definitely get to know them. I definitely get to know them a bit better.
Glad to hear it. Now, about tomorrow.
Did you have something in mind?
Yeah, I've got to work tomorrow, too, but I was thinking you could come in and meet my boss.
Meet your boss? Why?
I was thinking he might have some work for you, or at least he might know someone that does. Worth a shot, right?
I can't see why not.
That's what I figured. So, does that sound good to you?
Sure thing.
Great.
Having finished his meal, Diego reclined back into the couch and moments later failed to stifle an enormous yawn.
Ah, jeez. Work took it out of me.
Heading to bed already?
Yeah, I think I should. Sorry, man. I'd like to have stayed up a bit longer with you.
It's okay. Honestly, I'm exhausted too and could use an early night.
Even after your sleep this morning, huh?
I've been on the go constantly for a whole week now trying to sell my stuff and organize coming here. I'm still catching up on lost sleep.
That's fair. Alright, man. Good night. I'll catch you in the morning.
Yeah, sleep well, Diego.
Following his departure, I switched off the lights and made my way to the spare bedroom. I took off my shirt, slipped into bed, and then reflected on the day that had been. Seeing Axel again was a real treat. He seemed like a sweet guy and someone who would make a good friend. Dom, on the other hand, gave off an almost brotherly vibe and seemed like someone I could come to rely on. The two of them had an interesting dynamic. They definitely appeared to care for one another as friends or like brothers, or perhaps butt buddies. Instead of married, you'll be butt buddies. Oh my god, Civi's got a new video up. I just saw the notification on my phone. Oh, I love Civi. Okay. Who knows? Either way, I was sure to find out soon enough. Ooh, that's pretty. Day 3. Dun dun dun. I swear to God, if this game has some kind of supernatural twist. Today's plan was as we discussed the previous night. I would accompany Diego to work and meet with his boss to inquire about any available work he might have. Much like the day prior, we'd woken, shared breakfast, and were now making our way into town. You know, one of these days I really ought to get a car. This is a nice walk, though. Besides, it isn't that far to go and the exercise is good, right? Yeah, you're right. I guess it just gets old when it's a daily routine, you know? Yeah, I know. Despite being in the middle of fall, the sun was shining and the temperature was neither too hot nor too cold. An awfully pleasant day for a walk just like this one. A short distance from Diego's house began a walking track along the riverside. We passed others on occasion, some walking, some on bikes, and some even fishing in the river. I wondered whether you'd be able to catch anything in such a place, but the assortment of fins sticking out of their buckets was more than a sufficient answer. This route was an easy way to get into town all the while being rather picturesque. I made note of this observation, intending to use the track should I ever feel the need to get some exercise. Before long, we'd arrived in town. Around where the bridge connecting Woodcrest to the other side of its river was, the track turned into a boardwalk with many pathways leading inward to the town itself. Despite having not yet walked this particular route, I recognized our location. Diego's bar was literally just around the corner from here, and the mall a block or so further past. We're nearly there, so here's the plan. Come in and take a seat at the bar. I'll find him and bring him out to talk to you.
You won't mind, will he? I'm sure he's a busy man.
Trust me. It was not to do but exactly that, but I still felt somewhat awkward to be interrupting the day of a clearly busy man. Alright, we're here. Remember the plan?
I mean, you told me like 2 minutes ago.
Whatever, man. Let's do this. Diego and I separated at the entrance as I made my way to the stools lining the front of the bar, and Diego behind the counter and through a swinging wooden door leading out back. I was the only person at the bar counter, although there were a few other patrons scattered throughout the rest of the establishment. I took note of a schedule sitting on the back counter. The kitchen would open late morning and to begin serving lunch, and the bar would then become available mid-afternoon. I figured that would be Diego's post for the day. The sound of a swinging door caught my attention. I looked over to see a rather large tiger saunter towards me. He certainly wasn't what I had been expecting. Oh my. How you doing, big boy? Good day. You must be Brian. I've heard so much about you. You have? Indeed. My name is Ty.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Ty.
I assure you the pleasure is all mine. Oh, man, he's handsome. Now, Diego informs me you are inquiring whether I have any work available. Is that correct?
Yeah, more or less. I just moved here and I'm starting fresh. I'm looking to get established.
I see. Well, I welcome you to Woodcrest. You have picked a great location to start over. As for work, Diego vouches for you. Therefore, I'd be more than happy to bring you on board. Alas, I am uncertain just how much assistance we will require. The sound of the wooden door caught my attention once more, this time with Diego passing through and subsequently approaching us. Yo, Ty, awfully busy as of late, huh? Yes, Diego, you are quite right. Back to work now, okay? Diego simply winked at me and returned from whence he came. That was awfully convenient timing. Was he? Listening in? Indeed. He was standing right around that corner the entire time.
How perceptive, I had no idea.
A cat's senses are never wrong. Diego was right, however. Business is booming. And as pleased as I am with that fact, with only the two of us...
Only the two of you? Holy shit! 2 people running this one bar? That's pretty awesome. That's pretty amazing.
Cannot imagine how busy you are, though. It has placed quite a lot of strain on us both. Alas, inconsistency is very much the nature of this kind of business, and now that summer is behind us, I suspect things may begin to slow down again in the near future. With that in mind, I cannot presently offer you anything permanent, but we would both appreciate some help from time to time, that much is for certain. Though only, of course, if you would like to.
I'm not in any dire financial need, so I don't think it would be an issue. That said, do you mind if I take a day or two to think it over?
Of course not. Take as much time as you need.
Thank you.
Oh, and while I think of it, if you're on the lookout for more options, a close friend of mine is always looking for extra hands.
Oh, tell me more.
He's an event promoter, mostly handles concerts and such, but covers the full spectrum as well. Ty reaches under the counter and produces a business card, handing it to me. The name on the card read Lucas, and there was an address and phone number as well. If you would like, I can call ahead so that he is expecting you.
I'd appreciate that.
One moment, please. Ty produced a cell phone from under the counter and made the call. Lucas, my friend, how are you? Oh, I see. Although perhaps it was for the best, especially considering recent events. I am glad. You said yourself he was something of a liability. And on that topic, I might have just the thing for you.
Alright guys, I'm gonna pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!